Riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick a song or album, listen to it for an entire week straight, and then come back here to tell you, the listener, whether or not we hate it and why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, Jason Statham. To my Jean-Claude Van Damme, Timothy Richardson. How are you doing?
Garrett, it has been a very busy week. Not only have I spent the week listening and re-listening to the song of the week, I have spent the week reading and then rereading a book that I like to call, because it's the title, 12 Rules for Manliness, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? By Bear Wozniak. And I'll admit I did not gain too much insight on the song of the week, but I did gain some insight on life, on Catholicism, and what it is to be a man. A cowman, Garrett. A cowman.
A Catholic cowman.
A Catholic cowman. Bear Wozniak is, of course, the host of EWTN's motorcycle reality show Long Ride Home, The Bear Wozniak Adventure, and the 15-minute Ocean Sunrise Catechism, as well as author of Deep in the Wave, A Surfing Guide to the Soul, and Deep Adventure, The Way of Heroic Virtue. He is also the two-time Masters World Tandem Surfing Champ. He is an inductee in the Catholic Sports Hall of Fame, Ninja Black Belt. Ninja Black Belt, Garrett. Stuntman on Hawaii Five-0. He's a licensed private pilot, a licensed scuba diver. He's a guy who once rappelled out of a 25th floor condo. A guy who surfed 20 to 30 foot waves in Waima Bay. A guy who once pedaled his bicycle from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, allegedly. He's like an uber Catholic Steven Seagal. I am super into it. I'm assuming an actual stuntman once made him poop his pants, and I cannot wait to listen to his album next.
I mean, I gotta be honest. Aside from the heavy and seemingly endless references to Catholicism, I mean, the rest of it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, we could start like a men's group, Garrett. Like, we could get a bunch of men together, maybe meet in like a church basement.
God,
We could read a book about manliness and what it means to be a man, and then maybe we take it to the streets, Garrett.
Take it to the streets? I don't want to take it to the living room.
What if we start okay, picture this. We meet, we learn what it's like to be a Catholic man. According to the words of Bear Wozniak, we really internalize the messages of his manly Catholicism, and then we maybe go out and like beat up suspected communists.
Okay, I hate that we've put a spotlight on this gentleman. Hopefully he does not get the trademarked WIHTA bump, though I'm sure he will.
I'm buying more of his books.
You shouldn't. Please don't. The first one we can write off because it was definitely show research, but anything beyond that's purely for your own pleasure and on your own credit card.
Don't have one.
Jesus. God damn it. I hope that nobody takes offense at what I'm about to say, but I hate men.
And Catholics. No, that's not true.
Don't love them, but I can deal with that. Dudes are irritating. I have like 4 or 5 friends that are dudes, and that's it. Because if I have to meet new people, I prefer they're women.
Sure.
Easier to deal with, nicer, better attitudes.
Jesus Christ. I think what you're saying is horrific. I don't know exactly why, but it doesn't. I'm not co-signing this.
Write in hatepodmail@gmail.com. I know you're on my side here. If you have to meet a bunch of new people and make friends, you'd much prefer okay, hold on. Let me put it in real literal terms just so we can all understand my thought process. Tim's going to force me to start some sort of advocacy group. It can either be with all men or all women. Which one you think I ought to pick? That's obvious, right?
Well, sure, because you don't want it to devolve immediately into violence and storming capitals. My point is, we are men. We are proud to be men. We're proud men.
Oh, I don't know who the we is in that sentence, but to be clear, I'm not part of it.
You're going to be part of it, Garrett. You're the financial backer and honestly, possibly the patron saint. Speaking of patron saints, Garrett, did you hear some 16-year-old kid from 2006 is now a saint in Catholicism?
I didn't realize he'd already been besainted. I thought he had just been cleared for the process.
Well, he's been cleared to become a saint. I don't think they've performed the official ceremony yet, but get it together.
The consuming of the corpse? What do? Those people love eating people.
Yes, I don't know. But my point is, if your speech as to why he's a why he is now a saint includes the word PlayStation, which this does, maybe not a saint.
That's asinine.
Garrett, he limited himself to 1 hour of PlayStation a week, despite the fact that his parents bought him a PlayStation so that he could help the poor with the rest of his time, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird, weird faith.
Catholicism sounds like you guys are struggling. If low bar on the sainthood these days. Maybe we should put you in for it, Tim.
I think you're planning on murdering me.
Oh, do you have to be dead?
You have to be dead, yes.
Well, you know.
I don't think we should make
tell me you'll
dead.
think about it.
No.
I'm not asking you to commit on air. Just think about it. Downside, you're dead. Nobody wants that. Plus side, you're a saint. Probably.
I don't know if I'll make it, Garrett.
No, well, gotta take some risks sometime in life. Better than when you're dead.
Interesting.
Anyway, Tim, what song have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
Garrett, we have been listening to and will be talking at length about Paula Cole's 1997 single, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? And also Bear Wozniak's book, 12 Rules of Manliness, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone?
I really don't want to do the second thing. Also, I'm coming from a place of ignorance, which I hope to maintain.
No, we're going to meet in a Catholic church basement and put together a group of proud men that can go out and change the world for the better. No, it's not going to be for the better.
Finally seek equality for men?
No, we don't want equality, Garrett. We want to stay on top.
Dominance.
Yes.
Dominance. What are you guys here for? Male equality? No, you weirdo.
That would be a huge demotion, actually.
Yeah, we just want to ensure our continued dominance in culture for the next forever years.
Yes.
Men's rights group, shots fired. Now, Tim, after an entire week with Miss Paula Cole and her lack of Cowboys, I am very curious. Do you hate this song?
Garrett, I am very, very close. This is not a good song. This is a bad song, and it is emblematic of what can go wrong with folk music if you let just anybody do it.
Fascinating take that this is folk music. We are already miles apart.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying that this is folk music. I think that she sees herself as like a Joan Baez or Alanis Morissette or, I don't know, one of those. I wrote down a bunch of other names that she is not like, but would like to be like later. Garrett, do you
like a Joan
hate this?
Osborne, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't like that. So I definitely don't like her. Garrett, do you hate this song?
No, I don't think so.
But you will.
We'll see. I don't think so. I'm going to already just disagree and say I don't think it's a bad song.
I do.
Bold statement, I know, but I don't think it's bad. We'll see. I'm very open to being convinced.
Okay. Well, I'm
going to be fighting for my side.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's listen to this song. Let's dissect this song. Let's discuss the works of Mr. Bear Wozniak and his take on manliness and cowboys. And then we will get back to whether or not you hate this and also the book that I'm...
I can already tell you. Does he spell it B-A-E-R or B-E-A-R?
B-E-A-R. He's not a freak, Garrett. He's a surfer. He surfed 20 to 30 foot waves, Garrett. He's a ninja black belt.
I don't like him anymore. Okay, you don't hate it, but are very close. I don't hate it, and I might even go so far as to say I borderline enjoy parts of it. Oh, I'm lying. I just don't hate it. Okay, before we can talk about the song itself, I am curious, prior to this week, what is your history with Paula Cole and really specifically this song?
Well, I'll stick to this song for now. I was familiar-ish with this. I've definitely heard this song a few times. Weirdly, though, I haven't heard most of this song, or I don't remember most of this song. The only part I remember is basically the titular line sung on repeat.
Fair.
There's a lot of this song that I was like, this is the same. Okay, all right, fair enough. But I mean, I've heard this, and despite the subject matter, I wasn't super into it before this week. This seems like something that would have popped up on a cowboy playlist that I have, but it's just not there. And it might be due to the lack of cowboys. Usually I'm into things where their cowboys are front and center. They are present. This just doesn't have
I would
that.
say this is probably inauthentic cowboy music.
Well, she seems to be, we'll get into it, but she seems to be using cowboy in a way I don't care for.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough.
What about you? Have you heard this before?
Oh, fucking hundreds of times. It was on all the time when it came out. And
this was a Fred favorite?
No, I didn't. By the time this came out, I wasn't driving around with my father much.
I could see your father singing this when he's alone in the car, though.
That would be incredible. Once he got a CD player in his car, radio stopped being a thing.
I could see him having this on CD.
No, he didn't. Maybe, but I doubt it. Anyway, I remember this coming on, driving around with my sister and singing it obnoxiously. Like, I knew every word of this song before the week began. That's how well I know. I even knew the do-do-do that runs throughout the entire song.
I had no idea most of this song was this song.
Fascinating sentence. We'll dissect that in just a moment. So yeah, I knew what I was walking into. However, hadn't heard it since I was about, 10. So slightly different take on the lyrics. Well, we'll get into it. I shouldn't spoil anything.
I don't think this existed when you were 10.
Or 12, maybe. Something like that. I don't know. What year did it come out?
97.
Older, so 13. 13.
Keep going.
No, 14? Yeah. Okay, 14. Jesus Christ.
You're slow playing. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're going to lie about your age again. That's fine.
That is how old I was. Right? 93.
I think you're off by a full decade. It doesn't matter.
14,
let's get into it.
I hate you so much. That's your history. That's my real history. Well, that just does make it sound like a lie. God damn it. Before we talk about the song itself, I'd like to learn a little bit about the person who made it. So Tim, take me on a journey. Help us understand who is Paula Cole and where have all these dad-burned cowboys run off to?
Well, Garrett, Paula Dorothy Cole, Dodo to her friends, or at least that's how she asked me to address her in our pre-show interview, was born in 1968 in Rockport, Massachusetts. Rockport is, of course, also the birthplace of somebody you know very well, Mr. Vermin Love Supreme. The Honorable Mr. Supreme is a Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, and Republican who runs for president every year, or every cycle, since 1992, and is mostly known for wearing a boot as a hat, an incredible Hulk fist over his genitals, and for carrying a large toothbrush. That's mostly just window dressing, a delightful window dressing, meant to distract us from the more important issues and stymie change. Because you see, Garrett, if elected, Mr. Supreme has promised to institute a mandatory toothbrushing law, give each and every American a free pony so we too can grow up like Kid Rock, raise awareness for the zombie apocalypse, is planned to use zombies for renewable energy, instituting mandatory COVID-19 free zones, the virus, not people, and committing more money to time travel to stop COVID and, if there is time, to stop baby Hitler. While campaigning in 2011, he had a debate with famously dead Aleister Crowley, glitter-bombed a fellow candidate. In 2015, he got into a debate with Chris Christie about giving all Americans a free pony and accused Christie of hating ponies, and then tried to get Terrence Crews, the worst person you know, to commit to adding fluoride to the water used for waterboarding so that it is safe.
God damn it, he's funny.
In 2020, he advocated for pardoning nonviolent drug offenders and ending the war on drugs. He won a couple of libertarian primaries, and he is currently running for the Democratic nomination. However, he was tragically recently endorsed by the U.S. Pirates Party.
Interesting. Well, I'd still say, given recent events, he's got a decent shot at the nomination.
Fair enough. Back to Paula Cole, aka Dodo. She came from a sorta musical family. Her mom was an artist and elementary art teacher. Her father was a biology professor and bass player for the polka band Johnny Pritko in the Connecticut High Tones. She was in high school musical productions and then went to Berklee College of Music, educator of Imagine Dragons, where she studied jazz and sang at local jazz clubs. Legend has it she was actually offered a record deal to be a jazz singer, but turned it down.
Good call.
After graduation, she moved to San Francisco, or San Fran, as some guys I've been hanging out with recently call it, and started writing songs, including, of course, the Song of the Week, which she wrote very early. She signed with Imago Records and started working on some of these recordings, but then she got a message on her answering machine, a voicemail for some of our younger listeners. And that voicemail was from Peter Gabriel saying, Sinead O'Connor, Sinead
O'Connor, what's happening?
Sinead O'Connor had left his tour and some random studio engineer had suggested her to him. So she immediately flew to Germany, rehearsed with Pete a single time, and then went out and performed for 16,000 people where she sang duets with Pete and did all of the primary female vocals. A film of that went on to to win a Grammy.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Then she moved back to the US to begin working on her first album again.
Do you think that means she gets a Grammy?
No, I think it was a Grammy for the it's like best video or something, like long form video.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably for the filmmakers.
Got it.
In 94, she released her first album, Harbinger. Months later, the record label went out of business, and so she signed with Warner Brothers, who reissued it in 95. She then released The Fire in 1996, featuring the single of the week, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? And also, second single, I Don't Want to Wait for Our Lives. A much better song. I Don't Want to Wait for Our Lives to Be Over. Of course, as we all know, the song that ushered in Dawson and His Creek, Sweet, Sweet James Vanderbeek.
The Beak.
The Beak. I had no idea.
Open invite. Tim, we have been seeking a moral paragon of the show, and I think one might have just landed in our lap.
Have you seen his acting in that Rules of Attraction film?
Sure, but that's a flume. He's a family man now, Tim.
Okay.
He's a good dude. Look up The Beak. I mean, are you speaking ill of The Beak?
No. I'm just saying, like, I'm sure, what if people pull clips from that?
That's okay. It's a flim.
Okay.
He's allowed to act.
Okay. But I had no idea, Garrett, that those two songs were by the same person. And also, fun fact, sponsored by Snop Dogg and Snopple branded liquid beverages for human consumption, I Don't Want to Wait was released with two separate B-sides. Do you know what those B-sides were?
A different take of that song and this song.
Incorrect, Garrett. The C-dingle for I Don't Want to Wait in the UK and Germany was the song Bethlehem. The 7-inch single in the US featured B-side Hitler's Brothers.
That's really the only one to mention.
Hitler's brothers are still alive. Their army seems to grow in size. Hitler's brothers are on the rise. They're wearing everyday disguises in camouflage or business suits.
I see.
Yeah. Basically, there's a lot of Nazis hanging around.
It can't sound like a musical and be about Nazis.
What? There's so many musicals about Nazis.
Are there?
Yeah, there's that one with the Swiss Alps. There's that one with the producers. You know.
Well, sure.
That's two.
I do always forget The Sound of Music is about Nazis.
Yes, that's the one. This album also featured a duet with Peter Gabriel about a kid dying from AIDS in his father's arms. It is a downer. It's a real downer. There's a reason we didn't do the album. The same year, she also became a founding member of the Lilith Fair tour with Sarah McLachlan and Lisa Loeb.
That's the one you got wrong? You got through McLachlan?
What? Loeb.
Loeb.
In 1999, the Paula Cole Band released Amen and then got to appear on the excellent supernatural fiction show Charmed in 2000. That is, of course, a WB show about the most powerful good witches of all time. And I just want to stop the show right here and say, God damn it, I miss Aaron Spelling.
You know who I don't miss? His daughter, Tori.
Is she dead?
No. I just can't seem to... She just seems to keep popping up all over New York, and I'm tired of seeing her.
Oh, yeah. I was unaware they were related. She took a hiatus to raise her daughter and then submitted a fourth album that Warner Brothers flat out refused to release.
Yeesh.
Although one of the songs from that session did make it into a Mercury car commercial. Remember when that was a thing? And she did an Iraq War protest song.
Cool.
In 2007, her second attempt at a fourth album, Courage, was released. And then her fifth album, Ithaca, was released in 2010. Her sixth album, she's still making these things, Garrett.
No
Raven
way.
was released in 2012 after a Kickstarter to raise about $75,000 to fund the recording.
She doesn't have $75,000 to fund her own goddamn album?
No, she doesn't, Garrett. Well, she does. She just doesn't want to spend her own money. That's too much of a risk. Garrett, it's 2012. No one wants another goddamn Paula Cole record.
God, I mean, have more faith in yours. I mean, I guess you shouldn't. That right there is your answer. If you're not willing to put up your own money, and she's got to be quite wealthy.
I mean, she wrote the goddamn Dawson's Creek song, right? We're still watching it.
We all know that song.
Yeah, we recently bought the whole series for the third time on DVD. Well,
why do you keep doing that?
I want to support them, Garrett. I know there's tons of people out there that are just downloading and re-downloading this show. One of them's James Vanderbeek. I want to support him back.
Fascinating. We love you, Beaks.
Still insisting that people would give a shit, she released the album 7 in 2015. Then she released a covers album, Ballads, in 2016. That one she had to do another Kickstarter album for. And apparently, Garrett, it takes exactly $75,000 to make an album. It's good to know.
That's really strange.
Yeah.
It feels like money laundering or possibly mildly antagonistic. masochistic at this point. Why is she still making music? Also, it's just, by this point, you should have your own studio. What is this money for?
Oh, I think she does. She has her own record label. I don't know what the money is for.
IRS, look into it.
In 2019, she released Revolution. In 2021, she released American Quilt. And again, it goes without saying, all of these are being released on her own record label, aka self-released. But I do love that dichotomy. Revolution, American Quilt.
She had a real crazy 24 months.
Yes. In 2022, she came out as bisexual.
Oh.
Then in 2024, well, she either released or will release later this year her 11th studio album, Low. She's still making these things.
God damn it.
She has
Paula.
the 2 songs and Hitler's Brothers.
Yeah.
3 songs.
2.5 songs worth listening to.
Yes.
I cannot fully support that third one.
I cannot fully support this one. We should have done Hitler's Brothers.
I'm glad that we didn't.
Because it disagrees with the goals of our Catholic men's group?
Maybe yours. No, but because right now, if you Google my name and Hitler, nothing comes up.
That is
and
not true. You have not done that recently. I have been putting some stuff out on the internet. Hitler
Alrighty.
stuff.
Anything else, Tim?
No, Garrett, that is it. Le face.
Shia LaBeouf to you. Good history, brief history, strange history. That brings us to the song itself. Let's listen to a bit of it before we break it down. Gino, play the tape.
That is some mediocre stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pop song. That's for sure.
But okay, so to me, it feels like, I don't know if it's vocally, if lyrically, whatever it is, it feels to me like it's trying to be like a Joan Baez or Joni Mitchell or even Alanis Morissette, and it's just not. It's too melodramatic by 90+%. I feel like lyrically, she seems to be reaching beyond her means. It's sarcastic.
Scathing.
It's sarcastic in a way that you're not sure if the person singing understands the irony. I don't know if it's too subtle or not subtle enough. I think, tragically, Garrett, I think that this song thinks it's important.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
It's not, though. This is a worse Natalie Imbruglia. It's a worse Sarah McLachlan.
There it is.
This is the musical equivalent of being at an awards show and you're nominated for something and they call a name that is definitely not yours and you're so assured that you're going to win, you get up and walk halfway to the stage. Garrett, this song thinks it matters.
I'm very curious, and it's rare this happens, but I'm legitimately curious to see if I understand this song.
Yeah.
Because your comments vary wildly from my own.
She said that this was intended as commentary on gender stereotypes, but the feminist message was misinterpreted by many listeners who did not realize the song was intended to be satirical.
Okay, so your comments make a lot of sense now because I am one of those people.
Yeah, but that's my point.
Okay, that is very self-important then.
Yeah, this is a song. Well, we'll get into it when we get into these lyrics, but that's what I'm saying. Like, this song, it really thinks that it's going to be a
conversation piece.
Yeah.
It's going to start a dialogue, too.
I mean, listen, I don't think this is reaching for blowing in the wind, but this thing might think it's a times they are a-changin'.
Okay, all right. Now I'm starting to understand your vibe. What you just said, I don't want to breeze past listeners, and I know some of you, your viewers. Congratulations, you found the feed. Check this out. That's my nipple. Anyway.
That was his nipple. And here's a tip of my cowboy hat.
That is a tip of the hat. All right. Any whoozleby. What was I saying? It is a really big deal because it ostensibly makes all of my notes completely wrong. Because what you just said is that she meant this song and its lyrics to be ironic. Is that right?
That's what she said. Now, it also might be sort of a retrospective reappraisal of it. It might be like kind of the Alanis Morissette being like, oh, it's ironic that nothing's ironic. Nope.
It's not that I didn't know what the word meant. It's not that. Nope. Sorry, Alanis. We love you here on the show, but you were the stupid.
Yes. Now, that being said, she will always be my conception of God. Thank you, Kevin Smith.
Absolutely. And for some reason, I will always have a disproportionate crush on her. Thank you, Weeds.
Interesting. I think
Not because I thought she was God.
Okay. Are you confusing her for Mary Louise Parker?
Maybe, but I thought that Alanis Morissette was also on Weeds.
She might have been. But I think you're horny
the
for
fun and wacky uncle.
I think you're horny for Mary Louise Parker a little bit.
I'm also horny for Mary Louise Parker.
All right.
If that helps.
Yeah.
I like how free she is with her body, Tim. It's
yeah, you do.
alluring. Anyway, back to Paula Cole and her body. No, her music. Okay, we're dancing around it. Can we get into it?
Please.
All right. So, okay, before we read lyrics, though, how do you describe the music? Pop music, right? I mean,
oh, yeah.
Acoustic guitar, borderline folk country pop.
Yeah, it is in that 95 to 98, 99, like the Alanis Morissette kind of thing. It's what it's trying to be.
Well, Alanis, though, her sound is much more alternative rock.
Well,
it's still pop, but I'm saying musically, this is closer to Dixie Chicks than Alanis Morissette musically.
Sure.
Begrudging. I mean, if you got a better example, hit me with it. But it's not Alanis Morissette. Anyway, musically, it's pop. It's acoustic guitar forward pop music.
Sure.
And we open with not
it's
quite
like
singing.
Train.
Okay, yeah. It's like Lady Train.
Yes.
There we go. Well done. We got there. High five. Yeah, it's basically a Lady Train situation. Great job, Tim. We open with basically sing-talking. It's mostly talking through a vocal filter that makes it sound like she's on the phone.
Yeah, and this really bothered me because I don't remember this at all. It's
Oh, I do.
She's doing a cake delivery almost.
Yes, she does open with a cake delivery. Well done. God, you're on it today. She says, "Ooh, you get me ready in your 56 Chevy. Why don't we go sit down in the shade? Take shelter on my front porch, the dandelion sun scorching like a glass of cold lemonade."
Well, she starts off with some vocal exercises before that, but yes, and it's
and that doesn't really ever stop.
Yeah, but it's such a bizarre, like, given the way she sings the chorus of this, it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
What doesn't?
The way she sings verse 1.
Oh, I wouldn't even call that singing.
Well,
I think it's just talking.
The way she delivers verse 1 does not make a lot of sense given how she sings the chorus and the outro bit.
Oh yeah, the whole rest of the song doesn't match what I just did at all.
Right. To the point that I was just like, what is this?
I see. It set you up, it set false expectations for you. See, I know the song really well, so I know what's about to happen. Well, for you, you're like, oh, I'm about to dive into some sort of alternative cake situation.
No, because here's the thing. I knew the titular line really well. Like, I have that burned into my memory. So I thought, did I listen to a cover of this? Like, where somebody was like, I'm going to sing this song because this idiot just talked it at me.
I see. Nah, it's just a mishmash.
Yeah.
Okay, but hit me with it. I mean, any ideas? What are we talking about? Does this set you up for anything?
So I feel like this first verse is very throwaway, right? This is a intro to a relationship, right? They're on a date essentially.
It might even be pre-date.
Sure, but
it's like
cute. Yeah, but it's very early in a relationship, right? Picking somebody up in a 56 Chevy, just hanging out on the porch, drinking lemonade, whatever. It's a country relationship, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to add a little extra fringe to that lace and say maybe he's there doing a little home repair. They go to high school together. She comes out with that pitcher of iced tea or whatever the fuck lemonade. And then they have a nice little chat on the front porch. And it's a nice little meet cute.
Right. I'm imagining he's wearing overalls without a shirt on underneath.
I wasn't imagining it. She's wearing high cutoff shorts and a tank top, if you're interested. I don't know. I didn't picture him. Anyway, song begins, it really. I will do the laundry if you pay all the bills. And I'm going to pause it right here. I immediately, let's address the quote unquote irony. On face value, which is how I have taken this song my entire life, and even this week, sounds like she's looking for a very traditional relationship, or if you're on the interwebs like the kids are, a hashtag trad wife situation.
Yeah, I wrote this down. And I think the end of the song supports this more. But I think this is supposed to be sarcastic, right?
Yes.
She does not want to be the traditional, the trad wife in today's creepy parlance. I'm sure that's some sort of men's group thing as well.
Does seem that way.
Yeah, but so I think that this is intended maybe to be sarcastic, right? So it jumps from this meet cute to we're in the most
traditional,
exactly
transactional relationship.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, alternatively, okay, so first of all, there's three things going on here. One, none of that subtext is available in this song. Maybe towards the end it's there, but till you said that at the start of the show, I never would have thought she purposely meant for it to be ironic.
And I don't know that she does, but...
Right. Second thing going on is this claim of post-released irony after everybody and time has passed, and we're like, this doesn't age so great, Paula. Maybe should have just stuck with the Creek music. Anyway, the third scenario, which I have yet to reveal, is what if, Tim, alternate reading, this song is about a woman who has been abducted and she is merely negotiating to save her life.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. So this man is shirtless with the overalls, maybe one side's unhooked. He's glistening. And he just throws her over his shoulder and carries her off into his 56 Chevy to his weird, creepy hut in the forest. Yeah.
I was picturing sort of a Carcosa situation, Yellow King, trash maze.
Okay, well, take off your mask, Garrett. The chorus goes, where is my John Wayne? Where is my Prairie Song? Where is my happy ending? Where have all the cowboys gone? And again, this feels like it's maybe there's no subtext here, right? Where is my John Wayne? Where's my happy ending? Where have all the cowboys gone? Obviously, cowboys are the ultimate thing you could hope for. Yeah, so I get it. But I feel like maybe later in the song, cowboy is being used as a pejorative to mean old-fashioned and out-of-touch man, which, again, nothing could be further from the truth. We have evolved quite a bit since the 1850s, what we think of as cowboy times.
I don't support anything you do with those men, but I will say this, from what I have been forced to witness, very progressive group.
Absolutely.
Like, in your face progressive.
Yes.
Literally. And figuratively, I suppose, but really literally, like too close to my face.
Yes. And I also want to make this very clear, Garrett. John Wayne, aka Marion Morrison, was a fucking terrible person. He was a terrible actor, and he was not a cowboy any more than he was a Mongolian, and he does not represent either of our groups. He was a misogynistic, racist piece of shit. He bullied everyone he worked with. He cheated on and abused his wife and kids. He hated Native Americans to the point of physical violence. He was a coward who dodged the draft. And here's the thing, he dodged the draft of World War Goddamn II, the last one we were on solid ground as the good guys, only to make movies exclusively about him being a soldier and cowboy and sheriff or whatever. Honestly, the only impressive thing about him was that he had enough free time every day to smoke up to 6 goddamn packs of cigarettes a day. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. To quote him in 1971 in a Playboy interview, I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility.
I am going to bleep at least some of that. Jesus Christ.
Actually, you know what? I prefer that because I'm not that comfortable with that being of my voice saying that. But Garrett, that's 6 hours of constant smoking.
Here's a John Wayne. Yeah, that's insane. Here's a John Wayne fun fact. If he wasn't killed by cigarettes, he was almost certainly killed by an atom bomb.
Yeah, that's true.
Google it, folks. He and like 46 other people on the set of a movie that filmed right where they tested nuclear weapons was almost certainly exposed to mind-boggling amounts of radiation.
Yes. But again, 6 packs of cigarettes a day is worse than nuclear bomb exposure.
It really was just like a race against time.
Yeah.
To see who was going to mutate that DNA first. Okay. Yikes.
John Wayne, terrible person, also terrible actor.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because it's not like you can be like, yeah, well, it's not a Michael Jackson situation. Terrible person, great music. This is a terrible person, terrible movies.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And he's the worst part of every movie he's in, right? Like, he shows up, like, everyone's having a good time in the movies, and then he shows up and is just, fucking...
I always felt like when I saw him show up in a movie, he took like an applause break for a old school 90s sitcom that just wasn't there.
Yes. Yeah. It's
gave you a moment to take him in.
Yeah. It's a wink to camera as if like, yeah, I'm glorious.
That's right. The Duke is here.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. We should keep going.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know you get so hot about John Wayne.
I fucking hate that guy, Garrett.
It's fascinating. Anyway.
He's stealing cowboy glory.
Song continues. Why don't you stay the evening? Kick back and watch the TV. And I'll fix a little something to eat. Oh, I know your back hurts from working on the tractor. How do you take your coffee, my sweet? Seems like she's escalating escalating to cohabitation and has decided to make this man hers.
Sure, but I mean, the way she describes him, it's a little insulting, right? Like, oh, I know how your back hurts from working on the tractor. It fucking does. What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, if tractors aren't comfortable.
Right. If he's actually doing this, then it seems like it should be on face value, right?
Right.
It might be she's making fun of a guy that has a shitty office job and like doesn't want to like help out, you know? Like, oh, did you have a hard day working on the tractor in your suburban office park, you fucking dipshit? Fair
I like
enough.
that.
Which I think might be what she's
none
doing.
Of that. I think that might be what she's doing, but okay, sorry, Paula. Love the other song, love the Creek Anthem. Gotta tell you though, if this truly is irony, you have failed as a songwriter. If it is not, then you have robbed yourself of artistic credibility by undermining yourself years later. It's one of the two.
Right. And that's the thing, because it's not consistent, because I don't understand who this guy is. She never makes it clear, is this I don't know, it's never, and I feel like it is a guy that is working hard on the farm and they maybe just drift apart, because we get to that in verse 3.
Yeah, now when I heard this song and literally all of my notes, it's just the decomposition of a once thriving relationship. You got the meet cute with the 56 Chevy. It starts as them, her doting on him, taking care of him. He's working hard. She appreciates it. It's a traditional situation, but they still have a strong relationship, and it breaks down further in the song. But her saying that was all supposed to be tongue in cheek, it just becomes wildly inconsistent.
Yes.
Or maybe it's her finally moving from burying it to externalizing it. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be as the relationship deteriorates, she is now starting to become like he is the kind of cowboy type, right? He's the country guy. He's working on a tractor. He's working on a farm, et cetera, et cetera. But as their relationship deteriorates, this guy becomes less attractive to her. And as a result, that type of man becomes less attractive to her. And so then at the end of the song where she's like, where have all the cowboys gone? Where is my Marlboro man, etc.? Where's my John Wayne? Now it's sort of a derogatory thing. Like, I don't like that anymore. But still, it doesn't...
it doesn't quite track. You almost want to ignore her saying that she meant it ironically.
It's a better song if it's not, I think.
Yeah, and it's also a better song if this is all about somebody who abducted her.
Absolutely.
She wants that John Wayne, that happy ending, the cowboy, that rescuer. She wants street justice. She wants Batman.
So that's actually great. So she was abducted by a farmer, and we all know how farmers are. What she needs...
I saw that most recent season of Fargo.
Absolutely, and it's not great. So what she needs...
it's so good, but just to be clear, it's so good.
Sorry, John Hamm's a monster, both in real life and, well, at least when he was 20. Look it up, folks, and also in that show. But okay, so she's abducted by a farmer. One type of countryman has wronged her. The only way to set this right is for a better type of countryman, a cowboy, to come in, or even a rancher, to be honest, to come in. It's like a Cain and Abel situation.
What if she's been abducted by a pirate?
Oh, fuck that.
Well, no, that's why she needs a cowboy.
Everyone needs a cowboy, Garrett. Come on.
God damn it took a minute, but here we are. Mark the date, Gina. He's dead asleep. You and I have to remember, so that's to say the listeners should. That's the t-shirt. Everyone needs a cowboy.
Everyone needs a cowboy, Garrett.
I do kind of love that more. Listeners, vote in hatepodmail@gmail.com. Is it everyone needs a cowboy or everyone needs a cowboy, Garrett?
Yes.
It's the best shirt we've come up with so far. From the people that brought you this shit's pine cones, everyone needs a cowboy.
Have you seen the Instagram post, the you shitting hot snakes?
Yes.
Ike.
Yeah.
Ike on the mic. Well done.
Oh, I don't know. I don't see names. Okay.
It goes on. I will raise the children if you pay all the bills. Where's my John Wayne, etc.? Where have all the cowboys gone? So again, it sounds like maybe she is slowly. So here's what I think is happening, right? So she has entered into this traditional relationship relationship, which she is into, right? I will do the laundry if you pay all the bills. I'll raise the kids if you pay all the bills. I will take care of you if you pay all the bills. The problem is he's not holding up that bill paying part of the agreement.
Yahtzee, that is exactly what I thought. Fine, it's fine and dandy while he is paying the bills, but slowly over time, he isn't holding up his end of the bargain.
Right. I am wearing my new dress tonight, but you don't even notice me. Say our goodbyes, say our goodbyes, say our goodbyes. Get sad in the bridge, Garrett.
Yeah. Marriage is getting stale, and like all marriages, the genitals are the first to go. They say goodbye to each other, and soon they will as well.
Interesting. We finally sell the Chevy when we had another baby. Here's a tip to our younger listeners, maybe even our newlywed listeners. If your relationship is souring, if it's in any sort of trouble, one surefire way, yes, because then you can't get divorced for 18 more years, so you'll eventually grow together.
Absolutely. If you find cracks or weaknesses in the foundation of your relationship, shore them up with a baby.
Absolutely. We finally sell the Chevy when we had another baby, and you took that job in Tennessee. You made friends at the farm, and you joined them at the bar almost every single day of the week. It's okay. So he is the tractor working man, right?
Yes, but I think he's gone from working their farm to working someone else's farm.
Right. Yes. Yeah, they had to sell their car, move, and yeah.
Yeah, now he's making less, spending more time drinking, not hanging out with the family. She's raising all the kids, and he's drinking beers.
Right. And it turns from then into, I will wash the dishes, and instead of, if you pay all the bills, I will wash the dishes while you have a beer.
Well, you go have a beer. I will say, she hits beer exactly tonally that sells to me. Don't go have that beer. You should probably go home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's just what the song, right?
Yeah. Or it's about somebody who abducted her to be the nanny to a child army of stolen orphans. And then slowly she gets, I don't know, some sort of, what's it called there? Stockholm syndrome. And he loses interest in her.
Yeah. It's a tragic tale. The other scenario, Garrett, is that this is all sarcastic, as she would have us believe.
Right.
This is a like legitimate story song in the country tradition. It's fine the way it is.
Yeah, I agree. It's not my favorite song, but it's fine.
Sure.
And yeah, I think she tried to do some retconning like a decade later, and all she did was make things worse.
Yeah.
We do get an extended chorus before we get to the best part of the song. After the Where's My John Wayne, Where Is My Prairie Song, Where Is My Happy Ending, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? She asks, Where is my Marlboro Man? Where is his shiny gun? Where is my lonely ranger? Where have all the cowboys gone? And then we get to the best part.
Garrett, before we get to the best part, which I think is a borderline hate crime against my people, the way she says Lonely Ranger annoys the absolute shit out of me. Is this a pun, or does she not know the Lone Ranger?
God, I hope it's the latter. It's definitely not. I think it's a pun.
Yeah, fair enough.
Now, I love that you take it as an affront, what I'm about to say. I think it's great. Yippee-yi, yippee-yay. Yippee-yi, yippee-yay. Repeated, I don't know, 14 times?
Yeah,
something crazy.
Garrett, I want to be clear. This is our word. You cannot just go around saying that.
I thought it was yippee-yo, yippee-yo, yippee-yay. Apparently not.
Anything yippee is ours.
Nah, I don't think so. Also, I'm not sure who the ours is in that sentence, so I'm going to continue to use it as I see fit. I wish I could do it. I can't actually get my voice up that high anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it used to be my favorite part of the song, and I would scream it at my sister's face while she was driving a Mercury Topaz.
Classic car.
Ah, good stuff. Alrighty, Timmy, that brings us to the music video, and I gotta say, this is not what I was hoping for.
This is disappointing.
It's very disappointing, and it might be a music video about disappointment.
It could be, yes, but if so, it's too metaphorical. Because the music video is mostly her. Do you remember when we went to that Widespread Panic concert and the lady behind us was being a bird?
Oh my god, I forgot all about that.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing that up.
She is dancing like that lady. She's just got her arms out and I'm just being a bird. Being a bird. Hey guys.
A lot of self-hugs.
Being a bird. Terrible.
Bird. That's what you get when you go to a Widespread Panic concert.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take us through it. You stop me if I miss anything at all, but I think this is supposed to be like disappointment in men through various phases of her life. Maybe repeating the cycle.
Okay.
Most of the video is Paula performing the song to camera with some session musicians, I suspect, aka the Paula Cole Band. I don't know what that is. It's two distinct performances. One looks like the rehearsal for the other, and the other looks like a real music video shoot. In one, they're in a spooky forest on a haunted soundstage, and in the other, they're just in a goddamn warehouse. Let's see. We get glimpses of a little girl looking out a window of a house and a person on horseback who's slightly out of focus sitting up on a hill. I'm thinking that's supposed to be her father.
I guess they do the very 90s thing where the foreground is just enough out of focus that you think your eyes are all fucked up.
Yeah, it's very irritating.
How you're describing it is very accurate, but an equally accurate thing would be to say that it looks like cutscenes that look like they're from like a Lars von Trier collabo with M. Night Shyamalan. It looks like something horrible is going to happen, like a fox is going to say chaos reigns, or somebody's going to crawl out of a well and unhinge their jaw.
Or there's going to be like a long, unflinching shot of penetrative intercourse.
I don't think we're going to get that.
Well, it's happened before. Any whoozleby. Let's see. Get glimpses of the little girl. Then we see a woman sitting at a kitchen counter waiting on her alleged cowboy. Back to the girl, or possibly young woman in a car in the woods.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like a sticky fumbling situation with a boyfriend. Not sure.
I like that it becomes Silence of the Lambsy.
I mean, it's a good phrase. It just happens to have come from
a good man.
The author of Silence of the Lambs, Thomas Harris. Now, let's see here. Then we get a bunch of shots of black and white family photos that seem to be far too old to be related to her. And then an old dress is pulled out of a pool of stagnant water. Did you follow that?
Again, it seems like it's a Lars von Trier film.
Okay. Then we see a red-haired girl looking up at the sky for no reason and without context, all the while. That's all happening. Weird old home movies in black and white start playing, and then we see toys in mason jars hanging from trees. Let me say that again for anyone who might have been confused or vomiting. Toys in mason jars hanging from trees.
The family has been murdered, and a fox is going to say chaos reigns, right?
Chaos reigns. It's going to be like using his fox vocal cords, so it hurts him to say it. Yes. Right. I'm agreeing. Paula's sitting at a piano suddenly, and then sitting in a chair in the woods equally as suddenly. There's a woman walking in a nightgown down some spooky stairs, a lonely horse. Paula's doing some interesting hand dancing. This is what Tim was referring to earlier. There's a lot of hip slaps and thigh slaps. It's almost ham boning.
Yes. And this whole thing, so based on this music video, this is also, I think, evidence that this is not a sarcastic song.
No, she's digging it.
Yeah.
It's an anthem. It's a trad wife anthem. Tim, I don't love this. We're turning into Joe Rogan, a long, constant drift towards conservatism.
Well, we're not. I mean, let's be clear. This show isn't. But we've always attempted to court the alt-right, and I believe what we discuss in that Catholic church basement is probably going to tend more toward uber right-wing. Yes.
To be clear, you have attempted to co-opt and abuse the alt-right for your own general benefit.
They're monsters.
Right. Sure, but you love their money.
Yes, and
I
also
have tried successfully to keep them the fuck away from us.
Yeah, that's true. You are really undermining my efforts to... they're just so easily conned.
Yeah, they're looking for any and everyone to follow. All right, Tim, how did this do?
Well, Garrett, it did pretty well. This hit number 8 on the US Billboard Hot 100, number 32 in Australia, number 7 in Canada, 88 in Europe, 76 in Germany, 35 on the Icelandic Listen Top 40. That's, of course, Iceland. Number 32 in New Zealand, and number 36 in the Scots. It is unclear what the Dutch thought of it, although if my experience has taught me anything, those people are super into Cowboys, so I'm going to speak for the Dutch people here and say they liked it.
I think that's accurate.
This song was nominated for 3 Grammys. It lost to Sarah McLachlan and Sean Colvin. It was also nominated for the Best Female Video at the 1997 MTV VMAs, but lost to Jewel.
The MTA VMAs, it's some sort of train awards, but for recording artists.
Yes, this is her only song to ever reach the US Billboard Hot 100, so she's kind of a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, that's interesting. The Dawson's Creek song didn't
Apparently
get
not.
Wow, okay, fair enough. That's how it did. What did people think of it?
Well, Garrett, we have a Robert Christgau review, if you would like to.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, this is from 1996, as you'd imagine. You want to play the Robert Christgau game?
Let's do it.
Before anyone knew she'd go platinum, NetCrit, I believe that's internet critic, Glenn MacDonald, presciently declared Cole the new queen pin of a female tradition he traced from Kate Bush through Peter Gabriel, Melissa Etheridge, and Sarah McLachlan. Although MacDonald...
There's no F in her name, just to be clear.
McLachlan. Well, I've been misspelling it every time I've written it.
Fantastic.
Although MacDonald sanely declared this genre the obverse of male-identified metal, a skeptic...
The obverse?
Yes.
That's a new word to me.
Well, that's
that
the word.
hasn't happened in 12 years.
To be clear. Well, first of all, it's sad that you haven't learned anything in 12 years.
Not a new word.
That's terrifyingly sad. A skeptic with no tolerance for sub-peaks in either would like to note that each is beholden to quote-unquote classical precepts of musical dexterity and genitalia to-the-wall expression. Where Kate Bush overwhelms petty biases as inexorably as Led Zepp, Cole is just a romantic egotist who can't resist turning ordinary human problems into 3-act drama. Kate Bush fans will love her. Garrett, based on that review, what did Robert Christgau rate this album?
Ugh. Dude, he was really all over the place.
Most
it sounded
of it
like
wasn't
he was
about this album. Or
it was
about
a
this
lot
song.
about Kate Bush. And at first it seemed like he was using her to contrast good versus not good. And then at the end he was like, so if you like Kate Bush, you're gonna love this. And it's like, wait, so you weren't contrasting, you were comparing.
Yes.
B+.
C+.
God, that was my gut. Anytime I try to outthink Christgau, outthink myself. Other reviews, Tim?
Well, Garrett, I have some Amazon reviews, but not for this song. There are 34 total ratings on Amazon, 4.8 out of 5 stars on average, 84% 5-star, 0% 1-star. Now, the Amazon's reviews for this song weren't great. So instead, I have some good YouTube comments that are coming. Rest assured, we will get back to this song. However, I have some Amazon reviews for 12 Rules of Manliness, Where Have All the Cowboys Gone by Bear Wozniak. If you'd like to hear them.
I don't want to hear them.
An incredible book for men of all ages by Mark I. from 2024. First time in my life I've finished reading a book and turned back to the first page and started again. Bear Wozniak touched my heart with his deeply honest discussion on manliness and virtue. He metaphorically looked me right in the eye and called me out on my BS. I will read it again and then I'll give it to my son. The book has encouraged me to start a men's group in my church. This is the perfect short chapter book that I can lead men through, perhaps with a cigar and a manly beverage. Strongly recommend this book to all men and their sons. 5 out of 5 stars.
Women don't read this book.
Well, they should. They should.
God, I'm picturing a Tim Robinson style. Like, it's not for you. You can't even look at it. That is ridiculous. What is a men's group? What is this book? How did you? I know how you found it, but I'm so upset by this.
Let me give you a little bit more understanding about this. This is from Jay Flunker, also 2024. It's called Gave Me Focused Direction. Listen to Bear Wozniak on the Jason Jones podcast, Apple, and these guys spoke a language of manhood that was foreign to me. I bought the book and I wrote a creed as instructed in chapter 1. It's been about 6 months and I still carry this creed. It changes as I grow, and I recite it several times a day. It has given laser-like focus to areas of my life that I am working on. A game changer. I highly recommend this book. 5 out of 5 stars.
I'm going to feel bad because I'll never read this book, but I feel bad if I just have a misunderstanding of what this is.
It's Catholicism, Garrett. It is a Catholic book about what it means to be a man in Jesus's eyes as filtered through the saints.
All right, then my gut instinct to not support this remains. That
right
sounds
in.
terrible.
So we've done a couple Why I Hate This movies. Would you like like us to read this book and discuss it, we will do that if enough of you write in.
How long is the book?
I don't know.
Why would you promise that then? Well, you did say it was like short chaptered.
It's
easy
short
for
enough.
men.
It's short enough that we could do it. How about this, Garrett?
All right.
Garrett,
we're going to need
every
a lot
week
of votes.
we read one chapter, and then we have a little bonus content at the end where we discuss our lives and our creeds, and yeah.
God, finally a reason for a Patreon. Maybe. I'm getting on board slowly but surely. This all sounds asinine, and I hate you for injecting it into the show. Tim, what other reviews do you have? That was great.
I've got some YouTube comments, Garrett. Grandma Bessie Stafford 9288, 2 months ago. I was married for 12 years when I heard this song. Unbeknownst to me, hubby had a side piece from work. I worked 2 jobs for the first 10 years of the marriage so he could have a new car every few years. I also paid for his car insurance. He hated this song. Every time it came on, I would turn it up, start singing and dancing.
Did she leave him?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think she just put her foot down about not buying him a new car every few years.
God damn. If this describes your relationship, get out.
No, she said I was married. No, I don't know. I was married for 12 years when I heard this song. So it doesn't imply that necessarily that they got divorced.
And what's weird is it also simultaneously implies that she might have gotten divorced because of this song.
This gave her the courage she needed.
I've handed over all of my paychecks from my 2 jobs so you can have a new Hemi Dodge every 2 years. And I know you've been cheating on me with your secretary, but I just heard this Paula Cole song and she really set me straight. Is Paula Cole some sort of woman rights advocate?
Maybe, because this was
I think this woman's
sarcastic.
crazy. Oh, you're right. That's true. Well, but she didn't tell anybody.
Yes.
Fair enough. All right. What else you got?
Serafina Segale 9537 from 3 months ago. I am the granddaughter of John Wayne of Stage and Screen. I have a broken collarbone on the right side of law, oath to serve and protect, retired. I work as a consultant for missing and murdered females across the USA and Canada. This song was never really mainstream, but from time to time has caught my attention. Where have all the Cowboys gone?
There's a lot to unpack there. Really started in one place and went somewhere very different. I assume that first part's a lie.
Yes, absolutely, Garrett. Also, listen, was he a stage actor too? Was he like doing Broadway plays in between movies? I can't imagine.
I can't imagine that. He was so bad. Oh my God. Anyway.
And this is from Serial Killer, spelled like the breakfast cereal, 4248, 3 months ago. This song made me sad for all the 20-year-old girls brainwashed into thinking a career will give them happiness. Nothing gives me more joy than my 3 children. Nothing! And I spend 40 years saying I didn't want kids. How wrong I was. Now I wish I'd had them at 20 so I'd have more time with them.
What's that have to do with anything?
I don't know.
Can't you have both?
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure my mom worked my entire life.
Bad mom.
Bad mom.
Skate K63. Yes, the mystical real men. Haha. Where have all the good men gone? Love and relationships are two-way streets. If quote-unquote he is only appreciated and relegated to quote-unquote paying the bills, then no wonder he looks for friendship and companionship elsewhere after not having found it in his very own supposed soulmate. And the constant nagging.
Sounds like they're blaming the victim.
Yes, they are. Because
if
of
he's
the
cheating,
nagging,
it's your fault.
Well, I mean, if she's nagging.
It sounded like they were compromising pretty evenly.
Yeah, it sounded like a good relationship. He just kind of...
He stopped holding up his end of the bargain.
Yeah. Liza H. Marie 9720. This is the last one, Garrett. This says simply, we need Cowboys, especially now more than ever. I agree.
Disagree. Less. Great reviews, Tim, if not entirely too many. That brings us to final thoughts. Any big revelations here, Timbot?
No. I mean, again, I think that you're probably right. I think that this was intended as a more straightforward song about a relationship going sour. And then maybe at the end, the cowboy, the Marlboro Man thing becomes ironic in retrospect in the song. But I do not think she wrote this whole thing as some sort of feminist anthem that is anti, like, a man working on a tractor.
Yeah, it just doesn't come across.
Yeah, and I really don't think that this song was intended as that.
Agree. Yeah, and imagining that makes it a worse song.
Absolutely.
So I'll choose to ignore it. Alrighty, let's get down to brass tacks, Tim. We've been all the way through it. I'm very curious. Do you hate this song?
I don't think I got there. It's
Nice.
It's fine. Again, I think that if she's right, if she is right in saying that she intended this to be sarcastic enough, I think it's a bad enough song to hate. But I don't think it was. I think it's just she wanted to be cool in the 90s and meh. But no, I don't think I really truly got there. What about you?
No, I'm no worse off than when we began. It's fine. I don't think she meant the whole thing to be ironic. I think it's very obvious. It's a story about thinking you wanted one thing and it turning into another and then regretting it.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep. And you know what? I honestly can relate.
Oh, yeah. My whole life is regrets.
Oh, I meant something very specific.
Well, I meant everything. All right. That brings us to listener mail. Tim, you want to go first or you want me to?
You can go first, I think, this week.
All right. My email is from a gentleman or lady calling themselves Major Laser.
Awesome.
The Major's... The title is To Captain Gart and His Butch Little Friend.
Stop. Okay.
Major writes, Hello, Timmy Bear, and oh dear, Der Weissteufel, or the White Devil. I believe in German is what that is. Der Weissteufel. God damn it. It's your most deranged listener, the Captain Major Laser.
You know what? You're going to have to provide some evidence for that.
I think he already has in the first sentence, Hello, Timmy Bear and Der Weissteufel.
Still, you're going to need to do better than that to be our most deranged listener.
That's true. Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Please don't out-derange each other. Things have already taken a turn for the worse. Email continues. Gonna do this rapid fire to keep it brief. I've been writing an album about a vampire lady of the evening and getting dumped by her. I write lots of music in the weird country folk genre and have been searching for a name. Been pontificating on Gordon Eversole or perhaps Gordon Eversley. Both great choices.
You can have that if only because that will strengthen the illusion that I am Tim Richardson.
Yeah, absolutely. All it does is further muddy the water, both of them. Email continues. To answer a few questions, I actually listened to Hollywood Undead as a suburban angry 8th grader. Real young Gary moment. Fuck you. I was also in several worship bands when I was still in the church, and I detest nothing less than contemporary Christian music. I think you meant nothing more. That's all right. Nothing more than contemporary Christian music. That sounds right.
Or maybe it's his favorite.
Also,
if it's his favorite thing, then he detests nothing less. Wait, nothing more. I don't know.
It's his least favorite thing.
Okay.
My dad was also in several worship bands. How is that a thing? Prior to this email, I've never actually heard of a worship band.
Oh, I have.
Okay. Anyway, my dad was also in several worship bands, and one day dropped the bombshell on me that he was in a ska band in the 90s, and then produced a bootleg recording on a cassette.
Was it a Christian ska band?
Oh, great question. Captain Banana Pants, what's his name? Captain Fantastic? What? I don't remember. Anyway, Major Laser, right back. Was it a ska Christian band? Anyway, he continues. Now for some music suggestions, which I edited out. He continues. As for the Patreon thing, I would gladly pay you up to $5 monthly for additional content / interactive stuff. Tim just thought of that brand new idea. What were we going to do, Tim? Oh, read that terrible book. If anyone deserves mein Geld, God damn it, it's you boys. I spent 90 days worth of hours, Jesus, listening to you guys last year after all. One last point. For years now, inspired by Terry Chardson, RGSSO. The fuck does that mean? What's RGSSO?
I don't know.
Okay. Inspired by Terry Chardson, RGSSO, my friends and I have been keeping an in conversation. Here are a few of the hundreds we now have. This is a good one. Handsome? How handsome? Question mark. Written out. Question mark. Handsome? How handsome? Question mark. One other one, I think. I'm going to be honest. Out of our friend group, I think James is going to be the only one to have an open casket funeral. Insightful. Okay, that's all for now. I hope the formatting of this pissed you off, Timmy. G-Bear needs a win after all. You win most potties. Love you guys. Bye. Signed, the real Major Laser, respected gentleman of the soft serve order.
Honestly, I think that pissed Garrett off more than me.
Oh, yeah. Drove me absolutely insane. Made it hard to read. Made me think I was dyslexic. Still might be.
Yes, but this is not evidence.
A very funny email. Help us understand about your father's ska Christian band, and also what is RGSSO? Is that the IUSOD or whatever? The in-show continuity, maybe?
No, that's IUC.
Sorry. I thought they had at least 2 more letters. I also took a YouTube comment that from our Mariah Carey episode that just says, "Who's Derek Jeter?" Made me laugh really fucking hard.
Yeah.
That is my excellent email. What do you have, Timbo?
Well, Garrett, my excellent email is from Bumbling Prognosticator, and it is entitled, "My Parents Don't Love Me Anymore."
That'll happen.
Dear Mr. Richardson and Mr. Harvey, let me stop right there. This is how we should be addressed. And I'm not even going to get into the fact that we should both have the honorific doctor, but
absolutely.
Just the respect, the last name, Mr. Richardson, Mr. Harvey, that feels right.
I'm open. I'm listening. I'm engaged. It can only go downhill from here.
The other night I was eating dinner with my dear, and then in parentheses, currently divorcing, mother and father when the topic of the gin blossoms came up.
Wait, what?
Okay, so picture this. He's at dinner with both of his parents who are getting a divorce, and one of them brings up the gin blossoms in 2024.
You know what I was looking for on eBay the other day? A Gin Blossoms t-shirt, because somebody, Diane, gave mine to Goodwill.
My mother said, they were only popular because they're Bob Dylan's son band, to which I couldn't help reply. I think Jacob Dylan's band was actually the Wallflowers.
That's fucking great.
Needless to say, my parents were very disturbed to know their 17-year-old son knew such asinine music trivia. I have it on good authority. They're getting me euthanized in mid-July. Thanks for nothing, you foolish scoundrels. Regards, Alan C. P.S. If you're looking for more College of William and Mary alumni, I volunteer one of my favorite bands, Car Seat Headrest. They're like Weezer for gay children and people who don't go outside. I like Car Seat Headrest. We're probably not going to do them.
Yeah, I also quite enjoy that band.
Yeah.
So Alan,
ACL,
otherwise,
they were
good
great
stuff. Yeah, I enjoy that band. Oh, well. Otherwise, Alan, great email.
Yeah.
Way off base on that other stuff.
Probably even better than the email you read.
No, easily mine was the best email. That brings us to music news of the weird. Tim, you want to go first or you want me to?
As winner of the email challenge, I think I deserve to go first.
Because I won.
Music news of the weird.
In freedom of speech news, rappist BG, aka Baby Gangsta, aka
this is weird,
Christopher Dorsey, is currently on supervised release from prison for a 14-year sentence from 2012 involving illegal gun possession at a traffic stop and some other lesser charges. Now, prosecutors requested at his release that Judge Susie Morgan prohibit BG from, and I'm quoting here, promoting and glorifying future gun violence / murder in songs and at concerts while on supervised release from prison. And that seems like something the government shouldn't be able to do, right? You can't tell a guy like, hey, don't glorify, don't, whatever.
It's basically akin to saying, don't make up any scary stories.
Right. But also, if you're a felon on parole, it becomes murky as to whether or not you actually have any rights in this country.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I've seen, very few.
Right. And again, that's something the government should not be able to do. But it's also something that you should definitely do on your own, BG.
True.
For the love of God. But the judge said no, that's cray-cray. Instead, BG must provide the government with copies of any songs he writes moving forward ahead of their production or promotion. And if they are deemed to be inconsistent with his goals of rehabilitation, prosecutors could move to toughen the terms dictating his supervised release.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so basically he has, before he is allowed to make a song, he has to get it approved by the government.
I would ask, am I allowed to write poetry?
Interesting.
And if I am not, am I allowed to write a screenplay in which violence happens? Just how far are you going to limit my fictional creative endeavors? Because that's literally what we're talking about.
Right. He also might be in trouble, though, for performing in Vegas with rappist Boozy and releasing an an album with Gucci Mane, given that supervised release mostly also requires him to not associate with people with felony convictions, and those fellas do. Prosecutors
that I can get on board with, though.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Don't go hanging around people that we know like to do illegal things while you're on probation.
Right. Prosecutors also maintained that he did not obtain the necessary clearance to produce that work. They argued it also undermined the goals of rehabilitation, citing lyrics that exalted a pair of men serving sentences of life in prison after being linked to multiple murders in drug dealing and violence-related cases. Now, all of that leads me to say the government should not be able to prevent you from writing any song you want and confessing to crimes in songs and glorifying violence in songs. However, speaking directly to you, BG, stop admitting to crimes in songs.
Yeah, that also means that you can write whatever you want, but they can also then go, he wrote about it in the song.
Right.
Like, they can point to it. I don't know if it'll be credible, but they're allowed to point to it.
Right. And pay attention to the example of Texas Toast. There is nothing in there about strangling anyone. There's nothing in there about training a death squad in Central and South America to serve the United States in its 8th most illegitimate business interest, because we keep it classy and we do not admit to felonies or war crimes in recorded media.
I don't say the word Yemen even once.
Right. Oh, we should believe
because there's no need.
We should believe it here, Ethan.
Yeah, but maybe, right?
Yeah. Government, if you're listening, now that it's out of context and it cannot be conjoined because we bleeped it, the word was Yemen.
Saudi government, if you're listening. Is that cool?
Don't go into any embassies, Garrett. Do you have any...
That's so dark.
Do you have any additional news stories other than my one?
I have a ludicrous number of news stories. Let's see. Kanye West and his Yeezy company have been accused of mistreating several staff members. What a shock. Including bullying and not paying a number of them while they worked on developing a streaming app earlier this year. In a new lawsuit filed Saturday as of this recording, 8 employees, including some minors, odd, allege that West, who now goes by Ye, his then chief of staff Milo Yiannopoulos, and his Yeezy company did not pay the team members and also referred to them as, and this is their words, not ours, quote, slaves, and, quote, new slaves, along with other derogatory treatment. They also claimed they were exposed routinely to pornographic images in the, quote, hostile work environment, end quote. The plaintiffs are seeking payment for unpaid wages, along with attorney's fees, as well as damages for emotional distress. Quote, no guardrails were put in place to prevent the underage, whatever the name of their company is, Yeezy. It was YZYVSN.
Yes.
Workers were working on Yeezy porn or to prevent them from being exposed to and being forced to view pornography to perform their work. In April, Ye announced he was planning to launch a Yeezy porn adult film studio. In May, Yiannopoulos resigned as his quote-unquote chief of staff, still unclear what that means, position over Ye's plans to move into pornography, saying that it is, quote, a lifestyle. Oh no, what did he say? Because of his religious beliefs. That can't be right. I don't know. Personal beliefs. Anyway, point being is he quit. Shocking news to learn that Kanye West, not a great boss.
Yeah. You should always cite your own religious beliefs when abusing coworkers and underlings, though, because the government really can't do that much about it.
No, and they've proven they don't want to. God. Fucking, I have heard or read way too many stories about Kanye West in work environments being like, check this out. And it's just like whoever he's married to at the time nude. You're just like, cool, Kanye. I'm an Adidas executive. I'm a designer.
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah.
That's the inside of your wife.
But does he want you to get super into it? Because that's weird too. Like,
yeah,
there is no reaction that's not weird.
I think he's doing it because he's insecure.
Well, of course he is, Garrett.
But like, I think he's trying to throw you off so that he feels more in control.
He's not going to, I will say this. If there's one person that I believe truly could throw me off, it's Garrett. And if there's a second person, K-Way, because that guy, ugh.
He might have moved into the number 1 slot when he had his teeth replaced.
Yeah.
Because I had my teeth replaced, but I had them replaced with normal teeth replacement materials.
With teeth that look more normal than your old ones did.
Yeah, it was a logical step. He had his replaced with platinum.
He's trying to, it's like he wants to
His
be a
face
Bond
looks like
villain.
a Cybertruck.
Ooh. I saw a couple of those in California.
Oh, yeah.
They are weird and stupid. Although I did see somebody cite a law in California, or cite the absence of a law in California that said there's no law that you can't polish your car to be mirror shiny. And it's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that guy. That's insane. Yeah, they're really weird. There's one couple blocks from here that I see a lot. And like the nicest thing I can say is I appreciate someone being like, trucks don't have to look like that. They can look like this. Unfortunately, though, this is stupid.
Right. It's the same thing as in 2015, people being like, we really need an outsider to run for president.
You picked the worst possible combination of traits to do that. What other news do you have, Timbo?
Well, Garrett, in Willard Carroll Smith II news, Willard is back, musically at least.
Yeah, he is.
At the 2024 BET Awards, he performed his hit new single, hit is in quotation marks, You Can Make It. And he performed it standing alone in a weird fire pit with a choir singing above him.
Yeah, he did.
The song goes, the darker the hell you got to endure, the brighter the heaven you get to enjoy. The harder you fall, the higher you soar. God opens a window when the devil closes a door. Presumably, this is about the adversity he faced recently when he, as a 100 millionaire, publicly assaulted a man for making a joke that he definitely initially found funny, then noticed his wife was not laughing at, and then was punished by immediately winning the most prestigious award in his industry, adversity. On the other hand,
further punished when his wife exposed several personal details about their open marriage, and we all learned, including Will Smith, that it was an open marriage. Yeah, he's been through a lot, Tim.
Yes. I will say, though, if the song is about having to suffer the indignity of his white Batman suit-wearing lunatic son, I get it.
I forgot. Yeah, that kid is just a handful, isn't he?
Yeah.
That is my favorite Jaden move in all. It might be one of my top 5 funniest and like strongest power moves I've ever heard, to go to Kim Kardashian's wedding dressed as white Batman.
Do you think anyone said, hey, you're not supposed to wear white at a wedding?
It probably wasn't the first thing they said.
Delightful.
Is it? I mean, here's the thing. Given the option between a white one and a black one, I would go white as well.
Well,
for a wedding.
And Garrett, as a white man, you cannot wear a white Batman suit because you just come off looking like Robert Patrick in that Peacemaker show.
Peacemaker? Yeah. Fair enough.
Not a great
no,
look.
That's true. Yeah.
You're
White fabric hoods are a no-no for people with my complexion. Fair enough.
Absolutely. Garrett, do you have news?
I do. And I just really want to say I watched most of the BET award. What was it? BET Awards?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I watched most of it. This performance is not good. I just want to make real clear, like, another misstep by the Will Smith camp. Just stop.
Yeah, go back to making good movies.
Yeah, you used to be so good at it.
Yeah, and we mean
anyway.
before the like serious roles. Go back to making like Independence Day level things, or maybe star in a 5th Men in Black movie.
Ooh, maybe don't do that. Without what's his face? God damn it, who's that guy?
Wilford Brimley?
No, although good guess. No, on Larry Sanders, the producer.
Oh, Rip Torn.
Yeah, without Rip Torn, that whole movie just falls apart.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, he's getting drunk and breaking into banks in heaven now.
Well, let's move on, Garrett. News. Go.
I can't believe this guy did this to himself news. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, the self-described Crips, quote, street legend, charged with the 1996 murder of hip-hop superstar Tupac Shakur, was denied release to house arrest on Wednesday after a judge reviewed banking records and remained quite concerned that the 6-figure down payment being used to secure his $750,000 bond was tied to a deal to tell his story. The court has determined Mr. Davis failed to show that the bond was obtained through legal sources, the Wednesday ruling from a Clark County district judge said. The bank records provided are insufficient to make the requisite showing that the $112,000 bail premium was paid by a legitimate source. Basically, the judge said that the records included two unexplained deposits for $50,000 each. In his defense, Davis testified the money was coming directly from music manager Cash Whack 100 Jones in a completely legitimate don't worry about it situation. He claimed
Let me stop you right there, Garrett. There's a 30% chance that is one of my many aliases.
Oh no, Tim, I hope you're not Cash Whack 100 Jones.
I don't know.
How is your first name Cash? How do you have Cash and Whack 100? Are they both nicknames? Is one legal? How is that possible? Anyway, he claimed he previously lied when he told his wife during a very recorded jail visit 2 weeks ago that Jones was a, quote, front for someone making a movie. What? Long story short, if you don't remember this story, folks, this dude didn't understand how trials work, how statute of limitations work. Basically, he confessed to murdering Tupac. And then the police were like, cool, we're gonna arrest you now. What's wrong with you? And now he's trying to get out of prison before he is put back in prison, likely for the rest of his life. But yeah, got on a podcast and was just like, I mean, yeah, I knew. She's like, wait, huh? It's good stuff. See previous episodes for more detail. Tim, news, you.
In Dolly news, Garrett, Dolly Parton has a sister. Are you aware of this?
No, nor have I really ever thought about it, so not that shocked.
All right, well, her name is Rachel Parton George, and she is identical to Dolly, and this is somehow the first time in 78 years that I am hearing about it. And
now that's interesting.
The two posted some pictures together while promoting a cookbook called Good Lookin' Cookin', which is, and this is true, just like everything Dolly does, fucking adorable.
God, she's the best.
Given their resemblance and the fact that no one has ever heard of this sister before, I think it's safe to throw out a Why I Hate This Album exclusive. For the first time, those dickheads that make all those Saddam Hussein and John, George, and Ringo body doubles finally got one right. And I say, good on ya. Let's keep this going, guys. Let's make Dolly truly immortal.
Wait, do you think she's a robot? What are you saying?
No,
do you think she's a clone?
Yeah.
I see. There's not that.
There is that, though, Garrett. Rachel Parton George.
That is fascinating. I would not have guessed they look identical.
I
would have thought it would be wildly different for many reasons.
It's not, though. They're identical.
That's fascinating.
There's a second Dolly Parton out there.
God, here's the really crazy thing. So obviously, as we just said, looking for a moral paragon of the show, someone to steer the ship to ensure that we don't get off course. We're not good enough for Dolly Parton.
We're not good enough for Rachel Parton George.
God, really?
Garrett, identical.
Fair enough. Okay, good stuff.
Do you have any other news, Garrett?
Yeah, let's end on a super down note from me. Crazy Town frontman Shifty Shellshock has died at the age of 49. The musician-born Seth Binzer was discovered at his home on Monday, according to ABC7, which cites the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner. The cause of death was, of course, an accidental drug overdose. According to Binzer's rep, Howie Huberman, Seth has been struggling with abuse problems for quite some time. Jesus, that's the quote. Good God. Gino! It was supposed to be an in memoriam.
Yeah, Kinky Friedman died too.
Yeah, I saw that, but we didn't do an episode about him.
Oh, yeah. Michael J. Fox played guitar with Coldplay at Glastonbury.
Again. We get it. Okay, we're going to cut that out. I love that man so much. Tim, why is my instinct to say the worst thing?
Because you're the worst. You're a genuinely bad person.
I fight it, though.
You're
losing.
Supposed to
say I do a
You're
good
losing.
job. Oh, that's the opposite. Fair enough. That brings us to the part of the show where we announce the album we'll be talking about next week. And by next week, I do mean 2 weeks from now because I'm going on vacation and I'm not bringing Tim.
Aww.
Tim, what album will we be listening? This is news to him. What album will we be listening to for an entire 2 weeks straight?
We will be listening to Styx's 1995 Greatest Hits album because we looked through regular Styx albums and they don't have a lot of songs we knew on them.
Styx has 17 albums.
And
Each album has one song you've heard of.
Styx...
The Greatest Hits has 16 songs. You do the fucking math, listener.
Styx has 17 albums, and we are never going to do a second episode on them, so...
Fuck no.
Not even a Prepisode.
I feel like we could do another Jimmy Buffett episode.
Yeah, we could do the post-1985 stuff. It's probably worse.
It has to be. Anywho, do you have any Styx opinions? I think I'm going to come out loving this album.
I'm going to like 3 songs and hate the rest.
Interesting.
But I think
maybe
we're going to have
songs
some
on it, I know.
Yeah, we're going to have some theories though. And it's going to be interesting to see if we can make a cohesive story out of a greatest hits album.
I'm sure we will. But that's going to do it for this week. As always, rate, review, subscribe. Let other people know you enjoyed it if you did. That's how we get to keep doing it for now. You can also reach out to us, and we want to hear from you. There's been a bit of a slowdown for the last 2 weeks. Only a slow trickle. hatepodmail@gmail.com. hatepodmail@gmail.com. Give us a ring. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want us to listen to. Weird stories about this music. Were you a Paula Cole head? We want to hear about it. Did you know Shifty Shell Shock? Probably not that. Anyway, you could also reach out to us on Instagram. That's HatePod. Twitter's Album HatePod. I'm G Harvey tweets on Twitter. We got Discord servers. We've got subreddits. We're on the internet. If you want to find us, you can. But for this week, for last week, and a little bit for next, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson, and I completely forgot to look up a quote this week.
That's fantastic. This is a good day for me.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.